Hi guys, and welcome back to another video on the wrestling review. Well, Daniel, this is going to be your Elimination Chamber thoughts to review. And I have to actually, I have to actually say, guys, I was bitterly disappointed with this um, show for the most part. The matches were so ponderous within the structure of them, and a debut, a debut that fell for uh, and this is a major problem because this is the last stop before before the biggest show of the year, WrestleMania. And yeah, that's a real issue. But to start us off, guys, we start off with the women's elimination chamber. Now, this is a tricky one to talk about as it doesn't really get good until about halfway through. Remember how I said it was a so and ponderous show? Well, this match kinda started off in a very generic sort of elimination but type of move. You have the majority of the wrestlers will walk around to the pod and stuff like that. Had you had um Yana James you had Yana James go for a scare right away. You had a lot of ramming into the steel structure and stuff. It didn't really get good until you saw Bow as the dive off the pod onto all the competitors. Then I got a bit with turn on sprays or if they missed. And then Yana James oops her up into a roll up pin and eliminates her. Oh, then a bit later on, Raquel Rodriguez comes out and she basically takes out Yana James and Asuka. Double pin. I actually thought that looked pretty cool. And then it comes, um, then it comes Rhea Ripley and Tiffany Stratton and Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez are left in the chamber after an impressive after an impressive performance by Raquel Rodriguez, Tiffany Stratton hits the prettiest moonsault ever, eliminates Ew, and then it's down to Rhea and Tiffany Stratton. Tiff gets sent into one of the pods and leaves Rhea to put up onto the lip. I saw arms are down, she's going to WrestleMania. I thought the match was you seen what the start of the match did kind of take me out of it a bit. Because it was kind of the generic sort of ponder start to this the population. A lot of people were saying it's time to retire this the population. I would tend to agree with a lot of those, and yeah, so there's that, but yeah, in the back, you see our truth. Our truth is an Adam Pearson called this promoting the new Papa John's pizza. Yay, some more corporate advertising, guys. Just what you want for a pay-per-view. And if I was our truth, guys, I'd be pretty pissed off. Can you imagine signing a new deal that he signed to last year after being controversially released and having to basically show corporate sponsors and products that are tied in with the company. They had them they had them advertise the ESPN app for the American fans. That's how you watch the pay-per-view in full. The WWE made a big deal that it'd be on the linear TV, ESPN. Well, the first hour would be, they make a big deal that the first hour of WrestleMania is as well, and you're like that. What is the point? So you're just basically giving people that can't afford an half a pay-per-view. It just seems a bit shit. It's like having somebody like a chopped up version of like their favorite movie, um, or something like that, and they don't get to see the conclusion if they don't have the app. Any case, my sympathies with my American audience. But yeah, as I'm not American, we need to move on from that. But then the next match on the card is AJ versus Becky Lynch. Now, this again is a major problem with the two title matches, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this match because it was pretty boring, and I like performer. As I like both wrestlers. As I want to make that abundantly clear, but I think AJ and Becky and are finished because this was a so ponderous match. You had Jessica Carr, who's the referee that Becky Lynch has had her problems with over the past few months. In regards to her reign with the title. And yeah, so basically, so, so basically this match boils down to is Jessica Carr going to be involved in the decision, and the answer is predictable. Yes, and I actually thought it would have been a better idea if Jessica Carr had sided with Becky Lynch in this match due to the allegations Becky Lynch has given her. Because how often do you see another sports another sports, be it football, be it NFL or any other sport where you get a referee, you, you having an allegation put towards them, and like the next time the two teams face, the ref actually sides with the team that actually leveled to the allegation biased. I think that would have been a more compelling route to go down with this storyline, but they didn't do that. No, they went for obviously the adopted hometown favourite AJ. The finish of the match says he hit the explosion umbilical AJ. He wraps her in the well, actually, I don't know, and perhaps, although I would actually, like to have seen Becky Lynch retain and dropped it to my scene with icon ultimate style you could had Italia, who's eliminated from the Royal Rumble. You could have Maxine, who's been feuding with Becky and you could have had AJ who's also feuded with Becky Lynch. And I would have at the WrestleMania, and I would have put the title on Maxine the play because she's improved a lot. But any case, they never did that, and that's a shame. And yeah, and like in my pitch for the Jessica Carr would have made for a more entertaining sort of avenue, but they didn't do that. So yeah. Uh, um. So anyway, guys, then we get to the next match in the card, Fun Battle of the LC's Fun Battle of the LCC and Punk. And I honestly, guys, again, I was really disappointed with if the pacing of the match. I thought the match in Belfast that had is like exceptional. It was a match of the year candidate already, and I really did enjoy that. But this sort of return match, if you like, this was absolutely slow. At a snail's pace. It started off okay with Punk's entrance with the whole Michael Jordan sort of Chicago Bulls era um, entering. and with the famous theme music in the Chicago Bulls, he an announcer announcing Punk to the ring. CM Punk was obviously the out and like Chicago Bill at Cox. Oh, also is obviously the his NHL team, and obviously they have who is in the United States, or home of the Chicago Bulls, and obviously the Chicago Bulls at Hawks who uncles of fan of, and I really actually like the personal sort of details and the century, and it make it adds to Punk's presentation a bit, gives him a personal feel as well. Finn Balor or his like out the episodes. Him again, which is always a bonus. I prefer his original WWE theme to the newer one he had. Um, it's a lot stronger. So eyes, and there's a lot more going on with that theme. And yeah, but the match itself, guys, was really so paced. It kind of reminded me of the actions of like, know how the Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Iron Man match where there's loads of rest holds in the middle of the ring and stuff, and it's just, it really wasn't all that good, to be honest, pace wise. You do have I'll hit a couple a shotgun drop kicks on the outside. To those looking good, they'll give them a match that he hits the coup de grace, but Punk hits out of that. Um, Ian Punk hits the GTS bow or falls out there, and but just before that, bow or comes off the top rope. CM Punk catches him in a sharpshooter. We get at WrestleMania 30 in a reference like that from a Cole, as I've said, low after the GTS bow or falls out there, and it's up to um Punk to put him away. He does another GTS 1, 2, 3. CM good teens. As I've said, I prefer the match in Alpha as this the list didn't live up to it. We'll see what Punk does with Roman Reigns. Um, I'm excited to see that match because it's a biggest match that they can possibly do right now for WrestleMania. Yeah, but yeah, that was very, very disappointing pacing wise. Obviously, obviously, Bow. or offer us the handshake. Um, accepts, and I actually thought the Judgment Day are going to come down and attack Finn Balor, are very reminiscent of WrestleMania 18 where Hulk Hogan offers the offer us a handshake to the Rock after the Icon versus Icon match. My favourite match of all time as a couple of, I actually thought there was going to be like an NWS or on in with the disrespect Hulk Hogan and then attack him, and I thought it would be in the same with uh, Finn Balor or Dominic Mysterio. I thought it would be the same with uh, Dominic Mysterio, JD McDonough to Finn Balor. But obviously that's not the case. Hopefully we get that on the Raw tonight. But again, guys, I prefer to hear strike while the iron's hot. And yeah, this didn't really come together, both as an aftermath segment and as a match itself. So yeah, very disappointing. And speaking of disappointing, guys, so we get to the hurry, and the reveal was obviously as I predicted in my predictions video, which didn't really fare too well in the grand scheme of things with some of the predictions, but as I said, as I say, uh, as I predicted, sorry, it was Anhausen, and Danhausen is revealed. So yes, and Aldi is her eyes opening, eyes opening, right, and it is the Anhausen, and he comes out with, and he comes out with multiple like answers or whatever they are, and it just actually seemed like 1970s and NWA where you see the guys coming out of boxes. It was very sort of hokey, very sort of cheesy, and even the crowd were when the Anheusen reveal, I actually thought because AEW has a strong hold in Chicago, um, in Chicago area, and particularly in the United Center, that get like he would get like a more positive reception, and then it kind of devolves into a demon and the history of darkness is hereditary. If he if he would go over to the announced can put on an eyeball, and then stood up either JR or O to look after the eyeball, but like instead of an eyeball, here Dan Housen gives gives oh, you and like again I don't really see what the is does for Danhausen. Actually, he said to Sean, alright, that's the Danhausen right. And to be honest, guys, I've actually seen some reports from various um from various news outlets saying the creative team and agents are all still and bringing the Anhausen in. But see, this is a problem I have now. Actually like Danhausen as a person. By all accounts, I've seen various so us talk about how nice a guy he is and whatnot. Oh, and he does have that sort of, and he does have that sort of, or, or reputation. But like towards the end of AEW, he was kind of smooshed together and after the rest of the conglomeration faction where you'd get like random wrestlers kind of aligned to of each other and it just didn't really make much sense. Danhausen is um, and to me, the Anhausen in general is a bit more of a side character. This reveal was going on for a few weeks, and like if you really wanted to give the Anhausen a different presentation, don't have him, don't have him I'm out with the answers or having I'm out of a box. It's basically when the 1970s NWA type easy sort of shit basically. Eh, Um and yeah, and the Death Rebel theme music is also ill as shite to be honest. So uh, overall, guys, is probably the weakest part of the show. I don't hold out much hope for the Anhausen and the I'm in the WWE umbrella. He's probably only have a match with them as because obviously as has been fed to new stars, he's already been fed Obafemi and Carmelo Hayes and people like that. So eventually he's going to get beat by Anhausen in a skill wash. But other than that, I don't really see where the Anhausen fits in within WWE. I think Danhausen would have been best or on the end. east of or a bit rather than having him um come to WWE. I could bear on this, but yeah, I just don't really see the the Anheusen fit in, and I'm sorry for all the historical references in this video, but it is a bit more entertaining than the show was anyway. And in the main event, guys, it's the Chamber match to face Ruma McIntyre at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Again, a very slow pace match. And a very slow pace match. And a very slow pace match. Will be and another Randy Orton. Now the journey to get to Um, the journey to get to the outcome is pretty boring actually because you do get a nice spot where you see Trick Williams hit a couple of spin kicks. The Booker T like chop. You can get a nice spot here you see trouble on Finsk I'm up um off the pod and basically what happens is he then gets eliminated but he then gets eliminated by Logan Paul. Then Logan Paul eliminates Trick Williams. He basically goes on a era. Logan Paul era eliminates the era eliminated him early in night as well. And I had a spot where he hits the BF on, but then he gets eliminated shortly after by Logan Paul. So Logan Paul's eliminated the league eyes. Even before that, I didn't really like the option of the match. It was so ponderous. All six men were in the are in the ring. There wasn't any other eliminations until about the second half of the match. And of course, Logan Paul eliminates the three of the competitors Uden, um, until Uden, the, until Uden three of my favourites. He then gets eliminated by Cody Rhodes, thankfully. After Seth Rollins reveals himself as a mask and that's a stomp to the Rollins just before the fake mask man is, but he kind of looks a bit like Seth Rollins. And then of Seth Rollins' time to act and to attack Logan Paul. Then And then leaves Oder odds time to dispatch Logan Paul, and then it comes down to Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Drew McIntyre's um um Drew McIntyre shows up. He takes out he 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 takes out Cody Rhodes momentarily. He he attempts to take out Randy Orton. The two remaining competitors team up. Randy Orton hits an RKO, then feeds him the odds and hits a crossroads that takes care of him. Then Randy Orton hits a RKO in the middle and the ring. He wins the chamber and he's Drew's direct challenger. Again, the pacing of the match was all over the shop. You even had you even had you even had oh Hogan in the air it's pissed me off eliminating three the six competitors. I fucking hate Logan Paul with a passion. I don't like celebrity involvement in matches, as you know, but I despise Logan Paul. I think he's a shithead. I just really, oh, he just oils my piss. He's just an insufferable piece of shit, and I don't care how talented he is. He's just a wanker, and to be honest, is and and to be honest, this is one of the many reasons why I don't really like this show. Obviously, it's nice to see somebody that I do like get the victory in the Randy Orton, but that's not enough to save the strain of a match. Javon Evans should have got more of a showcase to actually show what he could do. The commentators, Michael Cole and Ed Barrett were talking about just imagine what Javon Evans can do with inside the chamber. Obviously, it does hit the 5-star frog ash off the board, but sadly, that's all we get to do. And yeah, that is one of the major reasons why I was looking forward to this pay-per-view, was seeing what crazy shit Javon could do in the chamber, and I was left utterly disappointed that that's all we really got to do. Um, so yeah, but obviously, I don't think Randy Orton will be the sole challenger. I think it'll be a multi-man match where Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu are involved. So yeah, So yeah, there'll be the artifact are in. They can obviously do that now because there are so many years about for earlier on in April. So they've got plenty more time to iron things out. But I don't think Randy Orton will be the sole um challenger because you've got Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes still in the Drew McIntyre except so so there's that to consider and also as well it's not that long ago since Drew and Orton had to the feud for the title. Also, yeah, so yeah, that to think about. Obviously, Rhea he goes on to face Jade Cargill. I actually enjoy Rhea Ripley, so yeah, there's and hopefully she does kind of Jade because even although I enjoy Jade, our title reign's been a disaster and it's been horribly. I think we do need to go back to the drawing board of Jade Cargill. The Danhausen debut is a disaster. The CM Punk thing, but our didn't have opted him action Belfast on that Raw episode. The Kill and AJ match was just not very good at all. There was moments in the CM Punk battle match, but as an overall presentation, again, it was so on Ponderous. And the women's chambers started off so but it got better after the X's the hive of the odd and guys and yeah guys for that reason and for seeing Unks and Orange I'm gonna give this a 4 out of and really not a very good show. There is individual moments, but yeah, very disappointing on the whole, especially when you consider I gave the Royal Rumble a 7.5 rating, but yeah, not very good. Hopefully, or as a lot better. Hopefully, or as a lot better, and a bit more exciting. Hopefully, we get the Dominic Mysterio JT on Finn Balor, or even though it should have happened on the Elimination Chamber card. But yeah, guys, alright, and yeah, well, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all very soon. And I'm disappointed with the this show as a whole. Um, and I'm a bit angry to be honest because I go into every show with an open mind and the ash really went down like a lead balloon and yeah I just felt a bit let down. But anyway, guys, on up, on, and I'll see you for the raw review. Well, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all very soon.